Mm, mm. Yikes. Peace, family. This is Dr. Kia. Happy Sunday. I don't see anybody on yet, but this is Dr. Kia. It is Sunday. This is Sunday, October the 30th, 2022. And the time is 36 p.m. Hi, family. Thank you for joining me today. I had recorded a video, but for some reason, YouTube has been taking like 5 to 8 hours to do video, to run checks on my videos to make sure that it's ad suitable and make sure I'm not saying the wrong things before they upload my video. So I decided to go live. Hi, family. Hi, Gary, Indiana. Pate, hello. Hello, Tracy. Is it Gessner? Good evening, family. I just want to tell you thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the love you show me, the support. Thank you for some people have sent me donations, super thanks, super chat, whatever, but just your presence is very valuable to me. I want you to know that I love you so much. Hi, Keith. Hi. And I'm so grateful that you all are here today. So, what are we going to talk about today? Other than the fake news we heard on the other day where Nancy Pelosi's husband somehow got hit on the head with a hammer by some dude who was a hemp worker, and he was wearing only underwear, a nudist that burst into Paul Pelosi's home shouting, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" And then he beat up Paul, bashed him in the head. I mean, that's not funny, but this just seems like Hollywood constructed stuff. And then somehow Donald Trump was blamed for that. So I don't know how he was blamed for that. Hi, I love you too, Bruno. But that was incredible. So, family, we're approaching election season. Some people are saying that we will have elections, some people are saying we won't. I don't know what I think. What I will tell you is what will probably happen is a lot of false flag events. And I love you. Thank you, Kay Edwards. And we might even have a Black Swan event. Now, somebody told me that they heard we could also have a lockdown coming up again soon. And I hope not. I'm exhausted. So our family members we're tired. We've been through so much over the last few years, but I heard we could. Greetings. Yeah, you called me like, hey, King James. Mwah, I love you so much. Do you all think we'll have another lockdown? I heard that we could, and that if we did, we will have National Guard on the grounds, and that we will have another curfew, and that while the deep state people may be trying to plan something because, behind the scenes they're being arrested, so they might be retaliating, the White House could use that as an opportunity to continue the arrest and to make sure we're inside and safe, and also do an emergency broadcast system announcement. Yay! See? Okay, Northern Creation, you said EBS and martial law coming soon. Okay, and somebody said, Kim said maybe in the Democrat cities. Hi, Chris Price. Right, please, no more lockdowns. Family, I don't know if we can take another lockdown, but we don't know what could happen. We don't put anything past the deep state. Anything could happen. They could have false flag events. They could do a Black Swan. A Black Swan event is an event that is something that you would never think of, that's unheard of, that's kind of crazy. Hi, lovely lady. Like what we endured in 2020 with the pandemic. You live in Texas, and there's no way, right, Kim? And I'm in Florida, and I'm thinking I can't imagine free states allowing this madness. Okay, because our Governor DeSantis has said a while ago, if you cause riots or trouble or mayhem in this state, he will go against you with a vengeance, and he will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. He said he doesn't mind if you have peaceful rallies or marches or demonstrations, but if you incite a riot, you're going to jail. And he does not play. That's right. We are stronger than we think, and we're a lot stronger and more unified now than we were in 2020. So I love you, family. I just wanted to report to you that people are emailing me and making comments on the video saying that precious metals companies are running out of 1-ounce coins. So I wanted to come before you today to explain why that's happened. About a week or two ago, I reported that wholesalers are running out of product. So your wholesale companies that sell precious metals like silver, gold, even copper is disappearing. They're running out. Why that's happening is because of the high demand for precious metals. And this is why I keep pushing. Get precious metals while you can. You're trying to move to Florida. Come on, honey. We have room. And the real estate is going down because all the markets they're crashing. So the supply is decreasing. So your dealers like Miles Franklin, like JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Money Metals, who else? Great American Coin Company. A lot of these companies are running out of 1-ounce coins. Now, I haven't heard that Miles Franklin is running out of 1-ounce coins, but I can tell you that Andy Scheckman, the CEO of Miles Franklin, who is my good friend, whom I interviewed a couple of days ago on last Tuesday, said he had told us that there was a problem with the supply and that it's getting harder and harder to come up with silver and gold and even copper because your wholesalers are running out. Even the U.S. Mint, which is charged with making sure there are enough silver eagles for all of us here in America, they had stopped minting coins for a long time, allegedly because they couldn't find the coins to go ahead and mint or to produce. Now, I heard that they may be coming back and minting some coins, but even U.S. Mint said that they were running out of product. So hear me out, family. When you consider that the BRICS nations left the United States dollar, that caused the United States dollar to decline in value. Do I think 50 ounces is enough? I would say, King James, get whatever you can, whatever is in your budget. And I believe and I know that the Creator will take care of you. Whatever is in your budget, yes, the Creator is going to take care of you, okay? Because when we move to the gold standard, you will also be, and it's officially announced that we are on the gold standard, you will be able to take your fiat dollar actually and go trade it in 1-to-1 for the USN or the USTN, United States note or United States Treasury note that's backed by gold. So you're going to be okay. I just want you all to be aware of what's going on. Mike Fortner said 45 to 60 days out, according to Scott from Miles Franklin. Oh my God, out of the 1-ounce coins? Oh my gosh. Dollar don't make you holler, Tracy said. So when you consider who is included in the BRICS nations. Hi, Gary, Indiana. Hi, Keith. Keith, I asked all my moderators to send me a Gmail at kiapruitt@gmail.com, please, because I have something to share with you. So think about the BRICS nations. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Do you know that those nations alone they're comprised of 40% of the global population? Yes, that's 3.2 billion people, 40% of the population. So we're approaching 8 billion in terms of the global population. So if you think, thank you, Keith, if you think about it, the BRICS nations moving away from the United States dollar and going to other commodities like Andy Scheckman told us, over other commodities like silver, gold, and precious metals, then that means 40% of the global population is rushing into gold and silver. Those countries have not only started amassing gold and silver to themselves, but they had their gold and silver that was a part of their country repatriated back to them. So consider 40% of the global population rush into precious metals. Then when you consider Saudi Arabia, peace and harmony, Ray, Saudi Arabia joined the BRICS nations. So then they became called SAL BRICS. Then you had Egypt, Turkey, Malaysia, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Argentina, and so many nations, to the extent that every exporting nation is now either joining with BRICS, has joined with BRICS, or they have applied to join with BRICS. So consider BRICS was 40% of the global human population, and with all the other populations rushing to gold, people are waking up to the fact that we are moving to the gold standard. It's great for me to be here too. Yes, thank you. Keith said, hit the like button, family, share and subscribe. Thank you, Keith. I always forget that. Family. So what you see is a high demand in precious metals. Also consider that people are concerned that if the USD decreases in value, then that means that automatically gold and silver will increase in value. So if the United States dollar is decreasing in value because people are moving away from the United States dollar, then some people are concerned about their IRAs, their retirement. So even those people are rolling over those savings into precious metals. So I asked Mr. Sheckman, can you get a gold IRA? And he said, yes. He works directly with the company that will allow you to roll your IRA into a gold IRA. And you'll even be able to then take some of the gold and silver into your own personal possession. So you have people, countries moving away from the USD, people coming out of the stock market, people coming out of taking their retirement accounts and rolling it over into gold and silver. You also have millionaires and billionaires who are saying, okay, you know, we were invested in the stock market at one time and that was good. Some people are saying, you know, they're saying they love cryptocurrencies, but they know that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And real money all across the globe throughout history is silver and gold. Silver and gold is made, it was made from God or the creator. It's always been here and it's always been used or been used for long periods of time. So not long ago, it was the end of July, Andy Sheckman, the CEO of Miles Franklin, I quote him a lot because yes, he's a friend of mine, but he also has been on every platform. You can look at Big Swear, you can look at what is it called? All the silver channels, the Silver Guru, Silver Stackers. Almost everybody brings him on to talk about what's going on because he's been in the business for over 3 decades of selling precious metals. So he said at the end of July, a billionaire contacted him and asked for $50 million worth of precious metals. She asked for $25 million in silver and $25 million worth of gold. She also said that one of her estates was being settled and she might get more precious metals. Imagine if her family members get into precious metals. We're talking about a billionaire getting into precious metals. What if another billionaire contacts Andy Sheckman of Miles Franklin's Precious Metals Company? Or what if a billionaire contacts another precious metals company and they have to deliver it? What if people who had paper precious metals or paper contracts said, I want my deliveries brought to me now, brought off the COMEX right now, and they have to deliver it to all of these people, all these millionaires and all these billionaires, then you'll see the supply, dwindle even more, and you will see the demand continue to shoot through the roof. So this is why you see people saying 1 ounce coins are going to be out for right now, and this is why people are saying that wholesalers are running out of product. Mike Fortner said, Andy said he had a tough time getting the money from the bank. Oh, she had a tough time. Yes, thank you, Mike. So the billionaire, let me go back. The billionaire who had contacted Miles Franklin, said, I need $50 million in product. She asked her bank and contacted her bank and said, hi, I love you. Thank you. I need my money to be wired from my bank to Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. Do you know that her bank gave her a hard time, and she's a billionaire that's been banking with this company for a long time? Then the bank contacted Andy and asked them, are you a legitimate precious metals company? Is it true that she wants to buy metals from you? Prove that you're a precious metals company. Who does that? That's unheard of. They gave her such a hard time getting her own money out of the bank that she threatened to sue them, and threatened to bring lawful action against them if they didn't release her money. And they still held her up. And we're talking about a billionaire. So family, as you see people go up and demand and continue to demand precious metals, I ask you all to please continue to talk to each other. I love you, New Zealand. Yes, we're ready for a change in humanity, and we're excited that we're meeting each other, our soul family. As you see the demand continue to go up, you're going to see premiums shoot through the roof. So let me tell you, before I talk about premiums, Andy Schectman from Miles Franklin said he has not seen anything like this, where the supply is dwindling since 2008. And in 2008, the supply was so limited because people remember the housing market was crashed. We had a stock market crash. Things were going crazy. So people were rushing into precious metals. And he said that demand was so high, and to the extent that there was no supply, no product for 3 months. So Andy hadn't seen anything like what he's seeing right now since 2008. So even when you see precious metals companies have a product in stock, you may see the premiums go up. So let's have a little educational session for those of us who need a refresher, or maybe new people. A spot price is the market price of precious metals. The spot price for silver right now is, what is it, about $18 an ounce? No, it is $19.51. That's the market, 51 cents. That is the market price right now for silver. The market price right now for gold is $1,655 per ounce. You'll probably have to pay more. You will have to pay more than $19 an ounce, or $19.51 per ounce for silver, and more than $16.55 for gold, because that's the market price or the spot price. The premium is the price above the spot price, and that is the cost of doing business with the precious metals company from which you're buying, as well as any numismatics value or collectible value that some coins may have. So you will probably see the premium go up on the spot prices of precious metals. So if you look up what is the precious metals cost right now, silver would say something like $19.51. Gold would say $1,655 an ounce. But when you go to order it, there will be a premium above the spot price. And what we see now happening is premiums going up, because these companies, these precious metals dealers, have to shop around wholesaler to wholesaler, finding the best product. Now, because Andy and his father has been in business for over 3 decades, they have a relationship with wholesalers that a lot of precious metals companies do not have. So he's able to get product, but even he is saying that he's experiencing a challenge right now getting some products. But what I really like about his company is, I've shopped all around, and I can encourage you all to do the same, is he has the best prices in the industry. And if you find prices better than his, he said, let me know, because he has been in business for over 3 decades. He has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And he's never had one complaint. But let's get back into precious metals and the value. If anybody has a question, please ask me the question, and I'll do my best to answer. Bullion is the best way to get more ounces of silver for your dollar, is who's that? Mike Fortner says. So if you download the US debt clock, You're welcome, Jerry Hutchinson. You're welcome so much, all of you. If you download the US debt clock onto your phone, go to US debt clock, I think it's .org. I don't know if it's .com or .org. Download it. Hi, Antoinette Porter. Download it onto your phone or onto your computer. You will see the alleged real price of silver and gold. It's nothing like what they're selling it for now. So I did the work for you, but I want you to keep your eye on the US debt clock because those prices will fluctuate as the deep state has not all been arrested right now. So what they're doing is they're suppressing the prices and they're spoofing to make it look like precious metals aren't worth as much as they are. So I want you to look up dollar to gold ratio. And that will tell you how many dollars it takes to buy gold or the real value of gold right now. And economists have come up with a formula to figure out the real value of gold. So when you look at the US debt clock right now, it will say that the real value or the dollar to gold ratio is $872 per ounce. So right now you're only paying $1,655 per ounce, but the real value is $872 an ounce. Oh, I'm sorry, that's dollar to silver. Forgive me, family. Let's go back. The dollar to silver ratio, I'm sorry. The dollar to silver ratio is $872 per ounce. The dollar to gold ratio is $6,428. Now, right now, silver is 1951, but the real value is 872 per ounce. So can you see when we go back to the silver and gold ratio, standard, what you've invested now would be worth a lot more, and you'll get a large return on your investment. So if you're buying gold right now at $1,655 per ounce, and the real value, according to US debt clock, is $6,428, you're going to get a large return on your investment. But let me tell you, the US debt clock would tell you that whereas silver now is 1951, in 1913, silver was only $2.65 an ounce. And whereas right now we're paying $1,655 per ounce for gold, in 1913, it only cost $28.85. So what I'm telling you is when you look at the US debt clock, you're welcome. Look for the dollar to silver ratio and the dollar to gold ratio, and it will tell you the alleged real value. So again, the real value of silver is $872 per ounce, and the real value of gold is $6,428 an ounce. However, I have seen as debt clock the real value of silver say $4,700 an ounce, and I have seen on the US debt clock that the real value of gold was well over $10,000 per ounce. So they're messing with the prices. They're suppressing the prices even on the debt clock because they do not want you to know the real value of gold and silver. Excuse me, family, I'm hot. I told y'all that hot flashes, menopause, that's the devil. So family, my intel and economists, or I think they call them Austrian economists. There's a difference between Austrian economists and there's another type of economist that escaped me. But the Austrian economists who study markets, you said you've seen $4,000 too on the debt clock of the real value of silver, but they estimate that the value of gold could increase between $10,000 an ounce and $100,000 per ounce. So the value of silver and gold is really high. It may not look like now, family, but that's because of price suppression and people who are in high places that haven't been arrested yet that are still spoofing the markets. Now, we do know that JP Morgan had to pay a fine, or I think it was $950 million, which is nothing to them, but for spoofing the markets, for suppressing the prices. And we've also seen that inside traders and other people have actually been arrested, and that made mainstream news for spoofing the market. So it's happening, and it may take some time that the price suppression will have to stop, but it must stop. It will at some point. because this charade cannot continue to go on. Again, with all these exporting nations leaving the United States dollar, that means that the United States dollar is losing its value. Of course, I want you to be encouraged because we know that behind the scenes, we have benevolent people who have put forth gold to pay off the debt and also return us to the gold standard. Additionally, as long as you have all these nations leaving the USD, which was the world reserve currency, and fleeing to gold and silver, the United States has no choice but to return to the gold standard. Do I think they're going to arrest 45? Hold on 1 minute. Hold that thought. Let me answer right now. I'm not sure, King James. I call James sister King James because he's reported for a long time and he's just such a kind, benevolent being. There is some intel that says number 45 may be arrested. I don't know what they stand to gain from that, except for maybe under arrest he'll have to come out and speak out about what's been going on, and maybe it will cause mayhem, and people will wake up. But behind the scenes, and some of the intel sources are saying number 45 will be arrested, which is our president. And we have heard for a long time that the first arrest will shock the world. I thought it could be what's his name, King Charles, but I'm not sure, because we do know that on November 1st, King Charles is supposed to appear before the International Tribunal Court for nefarious behavior relating to children. So, excuse me, allegedly, King Charles and his parents, Philip and Queen Elizabeth, had some dealings with nefarious dealings with children who were indigenous children in Canada, and at a Catholic private school where these children went missing. And so what people said is when Power had conducted what they call hunting parties, and they beat, mutilated, and allegedly ate those children. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. So hello. So Queen Elizabeth was called to the tribunal court, but there was only one survivor of all those children that went missing who could testify against her and her husband, Philip. But that came up missing, and some people say he was murdered before he could testify. So they didn't go any further with that tribunal court. However, when King Charles came to power, then he was summoned to the International Tribunal Court, and he's supposed to come forward on November 1st of this year, 2022, right before elections. However, recently it came to our attention that he has a very heart condition. So I don't know if he'll show up or not, or the actor posing as King Charles, would he show up for this International Tribunal Court? I don't know, but he has a very serious heart condition. And then I put up a meme in the community section. So on my channel, if you look at the top, you'll see community, you'll see a community tab, click on that. Not too long ago, I put up a picture where somebody said that the UK was actually getting ready or preparing for his funeral. So I don't know what's going on with King Charles. We've heard that he is actually had been arrested and at Guantanamo Bay, but somebody is acting as him. So I thought he would be the first arrest. Some people are saying number 45 could be the first arrest. I also considered that maybe 46 could be arrested, because we have heard that SCOTUS overturned that E word, ELECTIONS. So if it's true that behind the scenes SCOTUS overturned what happened, and that there were an announcement will be made that the real president is who, DJT, then he possibly will be arrested. Okay, somebody asked me Northern Creation. So that's my discussion, or my answer to will 45 be arrested? I don't know. You all tell me, what would be the benefit if he's arrested? Like, what will come out if he's arrested, and how would that benefit us, the good people, or we the people, a sovereign people? Or somebody said it could be Pelosi. Wow, the speaker could get arrested. So I'm not sure who it's going to be, but we're supposed to have an official emergency broadcast system announcement that let us know what's been going on, and we will also are supposed to see some arrests on TV. Let's see, how will we be able to sell our silver when it goes up? If you ask Andy Scheckman, that he will say, and some other precious enthusiasts will say, that we shouldn't sell precious metals because precious metals, that's our wealth, that maybe we can use it later on if we have to buy a house, to buy things that we need. But Andy, people like Andy will tell you that it's your wealth that you pass down to your children, your posterity, or your future generations. But how can you actually sell back your precious metals to precious metals companies, whether that's your local precious metals company or some online dealers? So it's doable. It is very much doable. And you can also exchange it for what they call cryptocurrencies, or I don't really like the name cryptocurrencies, but what do they call it? What's another word for cryptocurrencies? Those type of currencies, you can exchange it that way. You can exchange it for dollars. You'll be able to exchange it for gold back, USN or USTN. You'll be able to exchange it to buy a house, in exchange for a house. You will be able to use silver and gold for everything, because we're moving back to the silver and gold standard. Also, when we move to the silver and gold standard, your purchasing power will increase. So, whereas these dollars, now it takes a whole lot to buy something, and they can continue to raise up the prices. When you move to the gold and silver standard, things will come down in price. So like a house that costs $100,000 an ounce, $100,000 right now, could be as low as $10,000 when we return to the silver and gold standard, because your money stretches, is worth more, and your purchasing power will increase. Yes, digital. Thank you. I couldn't think of that. Thank you, Tracy. You'll be able to exchange gold and silver for your digital assets. So when we return to the gold standard, you'll be able to decide if you want to use digital assets, gold and silver, or currencies that are gold backed. So USN or USTN. It will be up to you to decide how to use your money that you will have in your quantum account. Now, according to NESARA and GESARA, every person on the planet will have a certain amount of money put into their quantum accounts that's just for them. And that money is money that will pay us back for all of the things that we had to deal with the nefarious banking system, with the loans, the mortgages, the credit cards, and the interest rates that they put upon us, because everything that the banking system has done has been unconstitutional and against we the people. It is unlawful to charge usury or interest rates to we the people. So we're going to be compensated for that. Some people say we'll have between $10,000 and $100,000 put into our quantum account per month for 11 years, and it will be in a non-interest bearing account to compensate us for all we've been through. And then some people say it may not be that much, because they're concerned that people won't go to work if they have money in their quantum accounts. However, it is my hope and wish that people will just go to work doing the things they love, because things that I'm doing right now, I've done for years for no money. So there are some things that you all just are gifted at that you will do, whether you're rich or not. It would cause a constitutional crisis if 45 was arrested, giving the military a good time to institute martial law. Okay, thank you for the explanation. I wondered about that. We're waiting for things to escalate. I always go back to chess. Depending on movements, you must be prepared for everything. That's a good point, because there are different scenarios that may play out. It really depends on the chess moves on the chessboard. So we don't know if 45 would be arrested. We don't know if it's going to be 46, Pelosi, or who, King Charles. We don't know who the first arrest will be, but we know people behind the scenes are being arrested. Someone said digital is doomed. Oh, and someone said if 45 is arrested, it will not be the real 45. You're welcome, Dragonfly. No more IRS, please. Yes, I don't know, King James, and the rest of you. I don't know if you've heard that the IRS building, the headquarters, is vacant. Just like the FBI building, completely vacant. People that live there, I think it's in DC, yes, have reported that those buildings are vacant. And I don't know about the IRS building having explosions, but I know that there have been explosions with the at the FBI building, the federal headquarters, the headquarter building. So people are saying that there probably were exploding the cities and tunnels that are underneath the IRS and underneath the FBI. So that is completely over, family. The IRS has to be dismantled according to NESARA, and it has to be dismantled when the republic is restored, because the IRS is just a business. It's a corporate entity, just like the FBI and the CIA and the policy enforcers, also known as police officers. They're all corporations and corporate entities that are not a part of our Constitution or our government. They are not lawful and they are not federal. There's nothing federal about any of those three-letter organizations or entities, just like there's nothing federal about the Federal Reserve. So they will all be dismantled. Somebody says it could be that the white hats are doing the arrest, making to look like it, but getting him in a different position. So many things that have double or triple meanings. That's true. So it all depends on how things are moving on a chessboard, as somebody said. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Help me understand why prices will drop to 1950s again. I'm not following. Thank you so much. Well, prices will go back down because prices have been inflated. So they've been marking up things because the dollar has lost its value. And when you continually print up a bunch of dollars and it's not backed by gold, it loses its value. So now it takes more dollars to buy things than it should. And so you keep seeing these nefarious people continue to print dollars that are backed by nothing, which causes high inflation, which means that it takes more dollars to buy things, and they keep marking things up to account for that. Now, we're going to move back to 1950s prices when we were on the gold standard, because when we were on gold standard, they couldn't print money that was backed by nothing. All the money they printed, they could only print the amount of money that had gold, that they had enough gold to back. So the 1950s, we were on the gold standard. So now when we return to the gold standard, we will return to the 1950 prices. For one, because we're on the gold standard. Secondly, because the white hats of the military, the NESARA White Knights, and the Creator desires for us to have some reprieve and to go back to living at a time when things were affordable for us and to experience what it's like to have wealth. Also, just when you're on the gold standard, you have more buying power. I hope I've explained that a little bit more, because I'm not an economist. I did study economy a little bit, but please, family, if there's somebody who can explain it in more detail, I ask you to please share the information, because people want to know answers. Like, we're going to move back to 1950s prices, but why? Thank you for asking that question. Executive Order 13848 is super important. I know Executive Order 13818, and that is the executive order that freezes the assets of all the people who have participated in crimes against humanity, like trafficking. But let's see, you said EO 13848. Which one is that? Executive Order 130, imposing certain sanctions. Let's see. Since you brought it up, I want to look it up so we can stay with you. Executive Order 13848, imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States, ELECTION. Yes. So why did he sign that? Why did he make an executive order? unless he knew ahead of time that there would be some interference. Thank you for bringing that up. That's so important. So when they make this announcement of what's been going on, keep in mind that they knew ahead of time that this would happen. Somebody said, yes, there's more gold than silver, but silver is used in many things. Will silver surpass gold in prices? Thank you for asking that question. So there is more gold that's on the ground, above the ground, than silver. And historically, gold has only been used for money and jewelry, whereas silver, as our family member said, who was that said that? Silver has industrial purposes. It's not just used for money and jewelry. Silver is used in solar panels. Silver and palladium and platinum are in catalytic converters inside your car. Your computer has silver in it, your cell phone, all of your appliances, your refrigerator, your stove, your washer, your dryer, all of these things are made of silver. So there's a possibility that silver will be more valuable than gold. And if you follow Big Swear from Road to Rooter at roadto ROOTA.com, he will tell you that the gold to silver ratio, which is now 85 to 1, will at some point come down to 1 to 1. Somebody said that executive order is dealing with military being in control because of the interference of that E word. So the military, yes, as we learned from Derek Johnson, who's a former military man, might have been a Marine. Derek Johnson took to his social media platform and said 45 is still a president. And he said that the military is in control. And by military law, anytime you have an interference with things like what we saw happen in 2020, the military takes over and they're in control. And they are the ones who knighted or sanctioned 45 to be the lawful commander in chief. So the gold to silver ratio right now is about 85 to 1. I wrote it down exactly. The gold to silver, yes, it's 84.78 to 1 or 85 to 1. What that means is it takes, keep up the good work. Thank you. What that means is it currently takes 85 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. That's the gold to silver ratio. 85 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold right now. But that is natural for the gold to silver ratio to be 85 to 1. What I heard from economists and a precious metals distributor that I know is that at the end of every empire, they rack up the debt, they spend as much money as they can, and if it's fiat, they'll spend as much fiat, then they'll crash that system, completely do away with it, and go to a sound monetary system, which is silver and gold. He also told me that at the end of the empire, gold to silver ratio goes down 3 to 1. So what you're saying right now, what I'm saying right now is that the gold to silver ratio is 85 to 1. That's unheard of. It's naturally and normally 3 to 1. But when you take into account that silver has more industrial uses and purposes than gold, and that silver is rare, silver is a byproduct of gold and copper and other metals, silver is in high demand. So that means with a low supply and a high demand, and with all these uses and industrial uses that silver has with your catalytic converter, your computer, all your appliances, your solar panels and cars and all that, you might see the ratio go down 1 to 1. So what we also see happening with precious metals enthusiasts and people who have an eye and an ear and understand and understand history is some people are trading some of their gold or all of their gold, or a lot of their gold for silver. And then when the ratio decreases, then they will turn over and buy their gold with silver. So that's completely up to you how you decide to do it. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Hello. That the gold to silver ratio, although it's 85 to 1 now, it will go down to at least 3 to 1. Now, I've heard that in biblical times, it was 3 to 1. I've heard some people say the gold to silver ratio was 3 to 1. And I've heard some people say it was 1 to 1, meaning that they had the same value. But I can see that silver probably will be more valuable than gold. Don't quote me on that. I'm saying this is my point of view because of all the industrial purposes and all the industrial value that silver has, and because it's more rare, and because there is not as much silver above the ground as there is gold. Now, I don't think that we have a lot of silver mining companies, although there are some in Mexico. And that's where my friend Chris Marcus is. Follow Chris Marcus's channel. Chris Marcus, his channel is Arcadia Economics. I met him a couple years ago when he was doing the Silver Fest. He usually does that in October, but he talks about how silver is mined in Mexico, and that's where he is right now. He's a great channel. He used to be a stockbroker, so he will keep you abreast of what's going on in the stock market, what's going on with silver. I encourage you to follow him, to follow Greg Manarino, who will keep you abreast of what's going on in financial markets and the stock market. I love Greg, because Greg will be like, okay, guys, here we go again. Can you believe it? These people are lying. They're saying that inflation is transient. They're lying to you. Oh my God. I just love him. So I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. Follow Big Swear, because Big Swear, which I'm trying to get in touch with to ask him if I can interview him to talk to our family about the road to Ruta theory, which says that we would eventually go back to the gold and silver standard. He's been screaming this since the 1990s. He's been telling us about all the gold that's stored in the Gold Canyon and how they found out that there was gold in the Gold Canyon, as well as artifacts and pyramids, which is why they won't allow people to hike in certain parts of the Gold Canyon, and which is also one of the reasons why the Federal Reserve was created, and one of the reasons why they took us off the gold and silver standard, because they didn't want to let the people know about all the gold that's stored in the Grand Canyon. And I know they say that African nations are the richest nations in the world. I don't believe it. My intel was saying that America is the richest nation in the world. And if it's true that this is Egypt and this is Israel and this is the cradle of civilization and the Garden of Eden is here, it would make sense. But what Big Swear said is presidents wouldn't even ask for an inventory of what was stored in the Grand Canyon. But number 45 asked for inventory. He demanded inventory to find out how much gold is stored in the Grand Canyon. And there are billions of tons, according to Big Swear, of Road to Ruta stored in the Grand Canyon. Big Swear also said that the same nefarious people who took us off the gold standard, according to the Road to Ruta documents, had said that they would return us to the gold and silver standard after they had gone amok and done all the damage that they wanted to do. So I would encourage you to follow Big Swear. And if any of you have a connection with him, let him know that Dr. Pruitt wants to interview him, because he has a wealth of knowledge. He, Chris Marcus, and Andy Sheckman have been, monumental in my growth in terms of learning about precious metals and how valuable they are. So precious metals store wealth. The precious metals maintain their value, whereas dollars decrease in value, especially when you take into account of people losing fiat dollars that's backed by not or leaving it. And you take into account of all this money printing, it loses its value. But precious metals, they maintain their value, and they even increase in value, family. So even if your eyes look like that the prices and the value is low, don't believe it. Do not believe the hype. Okay, we are returning to the gold standard, which is why, who is that? Mooney. Alexander Mooney, the representative from West Virginia, introduced House Resolution 5404 that will define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. He did that in 2018 under number 45. And then again in October, the first week, is like the 6th or the 7th, he introduced the bill as House Resolution 9157 to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. And currently we have 13 or 14 states that have legalized silver and gold as money. So they have legalized silver and gold to be used as legal tender. This is why I keep shouting, get silver and gold. And if you don't have it in your budget to get, you're new to my channel. Hi, Betty. Thank you. Copper will go up fairly nicely also. So maybe $7 or $12 an ounce. That's good to know because I got copper for 89 cents per ounce about 4 or 5 years ago, and I see it increasing. So I agree. Family, tell me what I was just saying. Oh man, I should not do this. But so the dollar may be losing its value or decreasing in value, but gold and silver increase in value, which is why Alexander Mooney, who, if you look at his name, Mooney, is money with an extra O. Everything happens for a reason. Introduce these bills, and hopefully they will pass. These bills will pass into law. But we all know here that sometimes when they introduce something, they say what they're going to do, it has already been done. So I wouldn't put it past them. Have already done it, legalized silver and gold globally and here in America, all across the different states behind the scenes, because according to Project Sandman, all the nations in the world, at least 100, they say 100 plus nations, but we've been told years ago that it was 209 countries agreed to return to the gold standard and to return to global peace. So any other questions? So Corey says, everybody in all of these rooms are talking about gold and silver and the value of precious metals. What happens when we all crash together? Doesn't it seem like that everything will lose value? No, gold and silver will never lose its value because it's real money. It's real metals. It's something that the creator created. And in fact, when we move to the silver and gold standard, everything will be 1-to-1. So the same value that gold and silver has here in America, it would be the same in all countries. And even if they print currencies that's backed by gold and silver, then you would be able to exchange it 1-for-1. So I don't know anything about bronze. Family, can you answer the question? Will bronze go up in value? First jump for silver is $600. Oh, Cliff High, you guys should follow Cliff High. I love Cliff High. He does these projections based on formulas. He's just a brilliant guy. He says silver will go up, will first jump to $600 an ounce. So if we're only paying $19.51 per ounce, when it moves to $600 per ounce, family, that's one way we're going to be wealthy. Okay. Now I found an article by Bank of America. It was like 2 years ago where they had projected that silver would move up to $600 per ounce. So they are in alignment with Cliff High. If I can find that article for you, I will put it in the description section. Is copper worth buying? Good evening, Miss Vicky. Who is that? BXELRE19 asks, is copper worth buying? Somebody said yes, copper will be next. Now, copper is a healing agent. You can wear, I have copper, I don't have my copper bracelet on, but even Western medicine says that copper will heal you if you have joint pain and pain in different parts of your body. So if you wear it, it will heal you. I actually take copper, colloidal copper, colloidal silver, colloidal gold, and monoatomic gold because they're all supposed to be healing metals, healing modalities to cure viruses upon contact, to cure your body from illnesses, and is cure the right word? Maybe I should say heal. One of those words you're allowed to legally say, and the other one you're not, or it's politically correct to say. I'm not sure. I would just say, I do know that copper is good for joint pain. So will it go up in value? Wasn't there a time when people would steal certain wires because it had copper in it? So there's a possibility that yes, because I am hearing that that wholesalers are running out of supply of copper too. There must be a reason why that's happening. Our bank didn't want to get our money out either. Oh, Betty Pierce is saying that the bank would not allow her and her family to get their money out. Someone else has said, yes, copper is going up in value. So, family, I would say do your due diligence. People are saying, yes, yes, yes. A lot of wiring is made out of copper. So people are saying, yes, people still in copper. Copper is going up in value. I can tell you right now, they still it's like $2.99. That was the last time I saw it, but I bought it for 89 cents a couple years ago. People are saying get out of debt. So family, copper is also in your pipes. So I would say get in where you can. Oh, if it is not in your budget to get a whole ounce of silver or gold, consider half an ounce, quarter of an ounce, eighth of an ounce, 16th of an ounce, a gram, silver shots, gold shots. Consider what you can afford. So instead of saying, I can't, how about asking yourself, how can I? So consider getting gold Aurum notes, AURUM. Gold Aurum notes is 24 karat gold, real gold, pressed on a bill. And yes, it's considered money. The last time I checked the price of a gold Aurum note, it was $6.95. I hope that's something that you can put in your budget. I don't know what's in, people's budget. I had one subscriber that said that he was living off Social Security, and after his rent was paid, he only had like $35 to $50 to pay on his necessities. So I get it. We're all at different levels financially. Do what you can. Do what's in your budget. Look at what's in your house and distinguish or determine the difference between a need and a want. And consider that there may be some things in your house that's a want that can be sold or exchanged for fiat dollars so that you can purchase or exchange it for silver and gold. So again, scan your house and ask yourself, is this a need or is this a want? Food is a need. Shelter is a need. Child alert, almost scared to death. Oh, somebody got an EBS and it was a child alert. That happens to me all the time. Somebody said you can get a gold Aurum note at AppMex for $5.64. So food is a need. Shelter is a need. Clothes, that's a need. What else? I don't know what else. You know what's a need. Is alcohol a need? Cigarettes, is that a need? What else? Excessive clothes that you cannot fit, is that a need or is it a want? What else? Is cable a need? It's not for me, but it could be for somebody. Look at what's the difference between, hi, North Carolina, a need and a want. Yes, Maslow's law, Ray said. You guys know I'm a psychologist. So I study psychology along with political science, economics, what else? Social sciences and leadership studies. I study. But Abraham Maslow was a humanistic psychologist. And Abraham Maslow said that everybody, he wrote in 1951, he said, I think he wrote this hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He said every human being has basic needs. They have a need to ascend in consciousness and live their highest self, but we all have the same basic needs. And the only way you can ascend on his pyramid at the top to your highest self, let's say this was the pyramid or the triangle. Was this the right? Yes. So at the base of the triangle, he said, we all have basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter. And over that, he said, once all of those needs at the base of the pyramid are accomplished, then and only then can you move up to safety. Is it safety and security? So food, water, shelter, that has to be taken care of. And then the next need or next place on the pyramid is safety and security. Once you feel safe and you have all your food and water needs met, then you move next up onto the pyramid and that is self-esteem need. No, love and belonging. He said every human being must satisfy the need of food and water, and sex, your basic human need, and then safety and security. And then after that need, you have love and belonging. Everybody has a need that has to be fulfilled of loving and being loved. And then after love and belonging, then there's a need called self-esteem. Then that's when you can meet your self-esteem needs, where you feel good about yourself and you love who you are. And then once that is accomplished, you will move up to self-actualization. And actualization, family, is maximizing your human potential or realizing your purpose in life. It's hard to realize your purpose in life if you're hungry. It's hard to realize your purpose in life if you don't have shelter. It's almost impossible to realize if you don't feel loved and you don't have love or have a sense of belonging. Okay, so yes, look at what you have in your house and see what it is. I'm looking at this pyramid: food, shelter, basic human need. Above that, safety and security. Above that, love and belonging, and then self-esteem and actualization. So you probably can't see this, but Abraham Maslow said we all have needs. Determine and distinguish between what's a need and what is a want. And whatever is a want, think about the possibility of cashing it in or exchanging it for fiat dollars so that you can get into precious metals. Those are the ones who were getting left out. Those are the ones able to buy any precious metals. Are you saying the ones who can't buy it? Well, I would tell you all that people who are not able to buy precious metals, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Can you say it again so I can get an understanding? That people who don't have it in your budget, be encouraged, family, because we are going to take care of you. So those of us who have precious metals, we're going to help you. We're going to create humanitarian projects, as well as you will be receiving money from NESARA. So again, NESARA-GESARA will eject trillions of dollars into the economy, will put money in everybody's quantum accounts, and will get rid of all the debts on the planet. So you will be okay, family. And if you can't figure out a way to get money, then consider putting your pennies together with friends and family members, or your dollars or whatever you have, and get together and buy precious metals as you can. So you're not getting any sound? Can you all hear me? Can you hear me now? I said those people only get just enough to take care of necessities are going to be the ones that get left out of buying. Oh, I see what you're saying. Someone else said you can buy 2 to 5 ounces. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Per month. Yes. Get whatever you can. 2 to 5 ounces per month. You know what? When I started, I bought 1 ounce per month because I didn't know about it. And what you learn, my son is an economist, my baby boy. My second son studied business, and my oldest son is in the real estate. So my baby boy, who was an economist, said you never invest in something you don't understand or understand or overstand. So he said, Mom, I know you're interested in metals, so you need to study the market. You need to learn what precious metals are. You need to look at the history. Something's buffering of precious metals, and then get into the metals market. So I think that's it. Oh, you can hear me. Great. I want you to ask me some more questions. In the meantime, family, if you have a desire to purchase precious metals, contact our friend Andy Sheckman at Miles Franklin. You can email him currently at info at milesfranklin.com. Miles Franklin is spelled Miles, Franklin, FRANKLIN.com. So again, email Andy Sheckman, info at milesfranklin.com. Ask him for a list of his inventory and the prices, and then they will take your order from there. Remember to tell him that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, and he said he will make sure that our family receives the best prices in the industry. So it's so good to have a hookup with people who are able to take care of our soul family. Somebody's watching live from England. Thank you. So silver right now is like 85 to 1, but traditionally silver is like has a ratio of, are you saying 15 to 1 or 1 to 15? Somebody said we should get back all our federal taxes that you pay to the IRS. You will. When the IRS is completely dismantled, look up House Resolution. Look and see if it's 24 or 25. But one of those bills was to monitor the IRS and to take it down for unfairly taxing the people. Let's see if it was House Resolution 24. So, House Resolution 24 that was introduced was the Federal Reserve Transparency Act. Now, that House Resolution 24 was very important because the Federal Reserve is not federal. They had to become transparent because they weren't lawful and have to be taken down. And what you would notice is that under 45, he took the duties of the Federal Reserve and put them underneath the United States Treasury Department, all those duties, because by law and according to our Constitution, the only entity that can deal with money or monetary issues is the United States Treasury Department. This is also the reason why he nominated Dr. Judy Shelton to be the chairperson of the Federal Reserve. Because according to HR, 24, the Federal Reserve Transparency Act, he wanted to put somebody who was into gold and silver, who was a gold bug, to monitor them, to watch their actions before they do a controlled demolition of the Federal Reserve. Then you had House Resolution 24. So look up HR 24. I'm giving you all this so you can know that there are sources to support my claim. House Resolution 25 is, listen, the Fair Tax Act of 2021 to promote freedom, fairness, and economic opportunity by repealing the income tax and other taxes, abolishing the Internal Revenue Services. You see that? House Resolution 25 to abolish the Internal Revenue Services. So they will completely be dismantled. And that is one of the stipulations of NESARA-GESARA, and we see some proof of that because right now the headquarters building is completely vacant. You will get all the money that you paid back to the internal revenue, all the money you paid in student loan services according to NESARA, all the money you paid out in credit card debt, all the money you paid out, mortgages, bank loans, all that is supposed to come back to you. Somebody said all bank debt will go away. Absolutely. And somebody has said to me, what if I don't have any bank debt? What if I've been a good steward? People have said, I've been a good steward. I never had debt. That's amazing. That's great. So what will happen for you is you will still be blessed because you'll receive money in your quantum account via NESARA-GESARA, and anything that if you've ever been in debt that you paid off will return to you. Do I think there will be a midterm election? People keep asking me that. I don't know. I know that they said once NESARA is announced 120 days afterwards, there would be a midterm, there would be an election. So I don't know. But then you have some people like Andrea Stewart. Thank you, Sister Andrea, that are saying there will be no elections. So I'm not sure. From Amanda in England is saying Amanda Douglas is looking forward to the quantum financial system being in place all around the world. Anybody else? Here's an interesting question. Do I think racism will still exist after the world collapses? Real talk. No, I don't. I don't think racism will exist at all in this new reality, because racism is a social construct that was created by the nefarious beings that came to our planet and caused these classifications of race, and what else, all other and class. They cause that in order to divide and conquer us. I feel that as we ascend to higher states of consciousness, that we will move away from that, because what we're learning is that we've all been in this together. That's where they get this word "we go one, we go all" statement from, is we've been enslaved together as a human population. And now that we're waking up and realizing that the people in power didn't care about your skin complexion, they tried to enslave all of us. They tried to pit us against each other so that we would be so divided and so busy fighting each other that we wouldn't pay attention to these elite people or bloodline families that were causing us to be enslaved. So I'm praying, I'm really hoping and trusting that racism will no longer exist, and it starts with us. And that's why I keep putting emphasis on soul family. This is a wonderful time to be alive. This is a magnificent time to be alive, to watch the controlled demolition of programs and paradigms, to watch the controlled demolition of the United States corporation and nefarious bloodline families just completely being dismantled, so that we will not have any time for racism. We will not have any time for classism and sexism. No hate at all as we ascend in consciousness. So it starts with us on this channel, with you, with me. It begins with us loving each other, supporting each other, helping each other, inspiring each other, and raising the vibrational frequencies of each other. And this is what I like about this new generation. I'm Generation X. You had the baby boomers. I think then you had X and Y and the millennials. This new generation of people, they're not letting you fill their head with racism talk. They don't care about it. They marry who they want to marry. They hang out with who they want to hang out with. Their best friends look nothing like them. They are excited about being a part of a global family. They are star seeds that have come on the planet to teach us how to love. What they say, and the scripture says, and a child shall lead them. And there's another scripture that says, unless you come by, except you come as a child, something will happen. Except you come as a child, I think you won't be able to make it into the kingdom of heaven. So yes, this is refreshing to hear. These young people, they don't care. You're not going to tell them that they can't marry somebody because their skin complexion is different. Honey, they're teaching their family, their elders, and their great-grandparents how to behave. So let's continue to learn from the star seeds, from the angelic babies that are being brought forth, that God wins and that we're all one family. We're all the same. We all are ascending in consciousness. Dr. Pruitt, it seems that you are the only one on YouTube right now who's giving out this information like they are trying to suppress it. People are trying to suppress this type of information, but we're spreading truth, and we're spreading joy, and we're spreading love, because this is the charge or the purpose that God has given me and you. God has given us that purpose so that the joy we have can come, spring from our souls, spring from our being, right? And that overflow will touch the masses. I don't know if you all have heard of Dr. Delbert Blair, but Dr. Delbert Blair in the 1990s kept telling us, you're going to ascend in consciousness. And he told us that the government was trying to suppress his information and that the government had allegedly taken out his wife. Dr. Delbert Blair had a metaphysical institute out of Chicago. So I think it's called, so if you look up the Meta Center Chicago, if you type that in or Google the Meta Center Chicago, I'm going to ask his son Tony if I can interview him. Dr. Delbert Blair he owns the Meta Center Chicago, and he also used to do YouTube channels. And he would tell people that he had gotten contacted by a group of benevolent beings who were not from this realm. And so he had a message that we needed to raise our consciousness and become, he said at some point you're on a 3D reality, but you will ascend to 4D, 5D and beyond. And when he was saying that, I didn't understand it, but I kept listening to it. So he said, start eating better, drink clean water, eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables. Dr. Seabees came on line and started saying the same thing after him. He said, wear copper, take monoatomic gold because it increases your psychic powers and helps you to ascend in consciousness and gives you vivid dreams. Take colloidal silvers and coppers and gold. And he was the precursor to this time in which we're living now, because now you have more people talking about ascending to 5D. So there are groups on Telegram, I think it's called 5D Awakening or something like that. Then you have people that are part of Gaia. So there are some other people giving this type of news about ascending in consciousness. So family, I just said all this to encourage you, to let you know that we are so fortunate to be alive at this time. It is an amazing, great time to be alive. We chose to come here right now so that we can witness humanity being liberated, and we're all helping that liberation process. When will pharmaceuticals and hospitals go away? Soon, because you and I are helping that to happen by teaching people how to do certain things. And if you follow Mel Carmine on his channel XRPQFS1, he'll talk about a magic wand that gets rid of certain ailments. This is the precursor to the med beds. The med beds that's a technology that was given to us by our galactic family. And in the med beds, you'll be able to lay in it, and the technology will detect every ailment in your body and heal it. So all those entities that kept us sick and were doing nefarious things to us, when we would be sick and go to their institutions, they will have to do away with, because our galactic family has brought the med beds online. And some people say that they are actually in circulation, but I haven't had access to them. But I do know, if you follow Mel Carmine at XRPQFS1, he will talk to you about this healing. Can I say healing? Yes, I think it's healing. I can't say CURE, but this agent that gets rid of certain ailments in your body. So we see that happening, family. Study the market and get into the market, somebody says. So those will do away. They'll do away with. Then you have the med beds, the healing wands, and you have the med beds. And that is a precursor to us being able to go through a light chamber. So at some point in your development, as you ascend in consciousness, you will be met by your galactic family, who we will all meet. Each of us have an angel or angels, or a guardian or mentor that is galactic, who will contact you. We will all meet our galactic brothers and sisters at some point, because we all chose to come here and meet them at this time. But they will take us through a light chamber, and that light chamber will change our body. Do you remember the Bible that talks about translation of the saints, where your body will be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, when Jesus Christ comes? So if you look at that from a metaphysical standpoint, a metaphorical standpoint, when Jesus Christ, or you ascend to Christ consciousness, your body will change at a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. So in other words, you will go through the light chamber, and your physical body will then become crystalline. You will have a crystalline body, so that you will reverse an age and be able to live for thousands of years, like the Creator intended. And some of you may decide to never have a physical death. So this is what we have to look forward to, family, coming soon. And when you have a crystalline body, your body won't get sick. You won't need physical food. So this is why some of you are eating less and less. And some of you have found that when you eat fruits and vegetables, you feel better, and especially raw fruits and vegetables, because we will come to a time where we will only eat healthy foods, and we will come to a time where we don't even need to eat that type of physical food, but we will absorb energy like our galactic family. So this is what we have to look forward to, family. The times are changing. You and I decided to be here for such a time as this. This is exciting. This is different. This is new. And it's something that the Bible speaks about. It's prophecy that Satan will be chained for 1,000 years and we will return to 1,000 years of peace. And this is what we saw the countries agree to behind the scenes. So, yes, somebody said Mel Carmine is the truth. He's another person you should follow. He does have an XRPQFS Team 1 channel on YouTube and on Telegram. I'm on Telegram as Dr. Kia Pruitt. I am also on Twitter. You'll see Dr. Kia Pruitt, or my moniker is at Sister Counselor. I am on Instagram at Empress Kia Pruitt, and I'm here at Dr. Kia Pruitt. So are there any other questions before I leave? Because I do need to get my grandbabies ready for bed. Family, thank you so much for listening. It's always my great pleasure. Somebody said they did 5 months of just fruit and he felt dynamic, but it's so expensive. You can't always get good fruits, right? So try to get good fruit when you can and grow it. I've only done 30 days, nothing more than 30 days of fruit alone. And the reason why I tried fruit alone is because fruitarians will tell you that they're different from vegetarians. They said that the plants, fruitarians don't eat plants because they say plants are not to be eaten, but the fruit is the gift or the offering that plants yield for your health and well-being. So I tried. Oh, somebody said they've been doing this for 13 years. So I've tried doing going to my Twitter. Thank you. I've tried doing fruit only for 30 days. I lost almost 20 pounds. No, I lost 15 pounds, 15 or 20 pounds. My energy was through the roof. I had a lot of energy. I had psychic dreams. My dreams were clear. My libido was on 100. Like my libido was revved up so much that I started eating cooked foods because I was like, you got to slow down. You're single. You can't be going out here like that with your body raging. So your libido will increase. If you're in menopause, or if you are going through a period where your sexual appetite or libido has decreased, try herbs. Yes, they work, but consider a fruit diet, because fruit alone will make your body feel better. It will increase your libido. And some people have said fruit alone or a raw vegan diet of just raw fruits and vegetables have gotten rid of many things, including type 1 diabetes. I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving this out for entertainment or educational purposes, but I have actually met people who said they were able to get rid of type 1 diabetes with just a raw fruit and vegetable diet. Now, type 2 diabetes happens when you're obese and you're overweight and you have too much weight, but type 1 diabetes is supposed to be hereditary and uncurable. But family, I feel that we have the knowledge and memory within us to combat anything. We just have to remember. So thank you all for joining me today. I love you so much. I am so honored to be part of your soul family. I'm so grateful that you're part of my soul family. Somebody says this means I'll have to relocate in order to try a fruit diet. I am honored that we all decided to be here during this time. Somebody quote said Matthew 6:33. I'm not sure what it says, but I'm going to look it up. I really feel that we decided and asked to be here during this time so that we can help raise the vibrations of the planet. Would you say 6:33? And so that we can witness this, because humanity has been enslaved for thousands of years. Matthew 6:33. You can come in, baby. Matthew, it says, seek ye, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Everything that you need, everything that you desire will be added unto you. Oh, I'm getting chills. Once you seek the kingdom of God and the righteousness of God, once you seek the kingdom of God lives within you, right? It's not without you. The kingdom of God, or God and all the things that are related to God and all God energy lives inside you. So go within and ask your highest self, how can I ascend in consciousness? How can I become Christ conscious? How can I manifest Christ on earth because I have Christ energy in me? Do that, family, and do whatever it takes to raise your vibrations so that you can ascend in consciousness and live your highest self, because you are God. You're part of God. You came from God. You're from the source of God. This is what the universal laws dictate. The first law, universal law, is the law of oneness. The law of oneness say, and this answers the racism question, the law of oneness say that everything in nature is one. Plants, animals, human beings, galactic beings, every single entity, the dirt, the insects. We are all one, and we all came from one source. That's the creative source, or the God source, or God consciousness. Therefore, since we all came from one source, we all have source living within us. So everything that source or God is, you are and I am. So seek the God was within you and ask your God self, how can I ascend in consciousness and fully actualize to become like, live like, talk like, thrive like God? So the law of oneness says we're all one. We came from the one source, and we will return to one source. So family, as you ascend in dimensions, because some of you right now are in 4 and 5D, as you ascend, there are higher dimensions. Into dimensions, you will eventually become your highest self, which is God. So come on, we're going to say good night. They want to say hello. Come on. Because they're always trying to come in. Come on. This is Amen Ra, my grandson. He was named after the God of the sun, or the sun God. And this is Cherish Me Amor. Like mi amor, like literally mi amor, my love. She has a Spanish name, mi amor. So we're happy to be here, family. Oh, don't kick it. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. These are my grandchildren. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and cause you to, to become inspired to manifest and materialize. Get down, baby. The reality that you desire and deserve. Mwah. I love you, family. Thank you. Say good night, babies.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. What does your name mean?
Amen
Ra. What does that mean? We can't hear you. Say it again.
The God of the sun.
The God of the sun. And me amor means what?
God of the love.
No, my love.
My love.
My love. Okay, family. Good night. Safe travels when you travel in the astral realm. And before you go to bed tonight, tell yourself what you're going to dream about. Tell yourself that you're going to have a wonderful dream. And also, if you have problems and you need to find out how to resolve certain problems that are going on in your personal life, ask yourself before you go to sleep, how am I going to resolve this issue? And I desire to have the solution in my dream. And you should dream about a solution. So we can control our dreams. We just have to speak to ourselves before we fall asleep. And we can control so many things because your word is powerful. Your word is life, right? In the beginning was the word, and the word was God. 1 John 1 and 1. 14th said, 14th verse, St. John 1 and 14. And the word became flesh and dwelt among us. So your word is power. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So the word that you speak out of your mouth is God. The word that you speak out of your mouth is powerful because words cast spells. Cast a spell of love, peace, joy, and righteousness and wealth and abundance upon your life and the life of your family members. I love you, family. Remember to contact Andy Scheckman at info@milesfranklin.com for all your precious metals needs, and let him know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so that you can receive the best prices in the precious metals industry. Thank you. Say bye, family.
Bye-bye.
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Moderators, email me. I'll hear from you soon, Keith. Peace. Mwah.
Bye.
Heart. Mia. Hurry up. Do it. Many blessings to you and your family, too.
I want to watch it.